Hi, this is Christy, ChristyMatthewsOnline.com, ChristyJMatthews.com. I hope you're having a great day. It's really cold here today, here in Oakley, California, but it is that time of the year. It just, boy, we have so many months of great weather, and then when it gets cold, it's like it goes right to the bone. But in any case, I have a great topic here for you, and it's one that I became aware of, and I wanted to share it with you. And today's topic is to break the habit of being your guru's groupie. Now, what does that mean? Well, let me explain what the words mean. So a guru is an influencer of some sort. It can be a person or a company. A fan is an admirer. It's somebody who may follow that guru or influencer, but it's about where it stops. They have more of an open mind to things. A groupie will attend most or all of the influencer's performances. And when we're talking about social media, this is very important because I see so many people who are trying to make a living online, and they have done one thing, I believe, that is hurting their ability to grow, and that is staying kind of attached to one influencer. Now, I'm not out there bashing influencers or gurus in any way because I follow influencers also. Okay, I learn a lot from them. In fact, I really don't know any other way to learn new information rapidly without following some sort of credible influencer. Okay, so this is not what I'm saying. I am not bashing that at all. I highly recommend it. But there was one thing that was pointed out to me just recently from my friend and millionaire, Mark Lalonde. Now, if you don't know Mark's story, just 3 years ago, he was flat out broke. But he cracked the code in social media, and he reminded me of this. And it's huge because I caught myself doing this as well, and you might be doing the same thing. So I hope that this is going to help you. One thing that he had said is that he recommended that I reach out to a couple of influencers, Tom Bilyeu and Lewis Howes, for instance, and start watching and listening to either their podcast or their YouTube channel and pick out topics that were of interest to me. Because what Tom Bilyeu does and Lewis Howes does is that they interview New York Times, Amazon, bestsellers. These are people that are highly sought out, people who are obviously if they're selling their material out, there are a lot of people that are interested in that information. So these gentlemen interview these people, and they ask some very pointed questions and come out with some very good information. Now, this is not a new idea. This is something that's been going on for a very long time. When I got into real estate, Joseph Stump, how he launched by referral only was by going out and interviewing influencers, asking some very specific pointed questions, getting those answers and bringing them back to his community. And he's built a giant community serving the real estate industry. So this is not new, folks. But the thing that we get into is that we end up following particular gurus, particularly in social media, and we get stuck because we're not expanding our personal development around our interest. So we make it let's say if you want to learn network marketing and all there is about network marketing, you might follow a particular influencer, such as like Ray Higdon. He is an expert in teaching people how to work the network marketing industry. But he's not going to go into other techniques and interests outside of network marketing because that's his niche. So now let me tell you, he has developed himself personally by going outside of that niche so that he can become a better influencer, so that he can deliver greater value to his audience. And he does a fabulous job. So what I want to say here and make this distinction is that when you are following a particular influencer and you're finding that that is all that you are doing, you are missing out on a very important personal development skill. Now, let me give you a distinction between learning a technique or learning a new skill set versus developing yourself personally. Now, when you learn a new skill, it's best to mirror and match the things that you're learning. A recipe is like that, for instance. You go ahead and you take a recipe and you want to follow it to the letter, right? You're not going to take a new recipe and look at 5 different chefs, various variances of that recipe, and make your own recipe, right? Because you don't have a point of reference at that point in time of what works and what doesn't work. So you should follow one recipe, and that is why it's important that when you're learning a new technique, that you follow one person, one system, and get good at it, and then start opening up your knowledge base on how you might make tweaks and adjustments to that new skill that you've learned. When I got into real estate nearly 30 years ago, I learned a specific way. In fact, your licensing teaches you one specific way, and there's kind of a joke is that you'll never apply what you've learned to get your license in the real world. And I think anybody who has learned something new, especially a book learning type of thing where you have to pass a test, you'll find that those things that are in the test doesn't really happen in the real world anymore. They might touch on some subjects, and having that basic knowledge helps you build and branch off. But when it comes to personal development, your personal development is about enriching your interest. Now, let's say that you have interest. I'll give you some of mine. I love real estate. I love wealth building. I love health, woodworking. I love golf, karate, sports, caregiving. There are a bunch of things that I am interested in. But let's take health and keto, for instance. When I learned all I can about keto, I had a tendency to focus on one guru or one influencer that I followed and I had success from. I wasn't changing things up because I didn't want to confuse myself. I got really good and I had the success, and then I went ahead and started branching off and learning all I can about keto. So this is what you want to do. So be very cautious, because I see people going into groups every day. I mean, they are so good about being loyal and showing up. And I have to ask, and many times I find that they're not enriching themselves in other ways other than by what that one influencer is giving them. And I think that that is a key to affecting your overall personal growth, or their personal growth, in being able to deliver a more valuable product to their audience. So be careful with that, because in social media it's very easy. Now, on the flip side, when you're looking at this person or company that's an influencer, of course they want you to show up every day. That's why they make it so inviting, because that's how they make money. And there's nothing wrong with being a member of a large organization like that. But I just want you to stay focused on your particular mission, because just like I said, that company or that influencer has a mission to serve a specific audience, and they do want you there every day. But remember what your mission is. What are you doing? What is it that you want to show up and do to serve your audience? And I suggest to you that you will need to go ahead and look at what you're doing on a daily basis, how you're getting all of your information, and is it really a technique that you're learning, such as, like I say, NLP, for instance. You need to learn mannerisms, the way body language is, how something is said, a sequence of words. Those are very specific techniques. Of course, you're going to want to learn them from one person, because the next person that teaches NLP may have a different language sequence, but they're saying the same things and it works the same way. So be careful. Make sure that if you are trying to be all that you can be, why not expand your horizons? Focus on technique, learn the skills, stay focused on that, and then on your personal development, develop your interest. Okay, that's where you can branch out. Now, I want to tell you how I do that. I listen to podcasts and I watch YouTube videos. I spend about an hour. This is great when I'm out there doing my walk or riding my bike. I am in a Zen type of mindset, so I'm not distracted by other things, so I can really listen to what is being said. And I take that information and I come back and I make notes and then I share it. And so what is happening? Remember, I talked about ILT before. I invested my time. I learned the material, and then I turned around and taught the material. Because when you teach material is when you master the material. So folks, I hope that you got some value from today's video. I hope it helps you out in some sort of way. I know when I was aware of what I was doing, because I was following one or two influencers, and I just felt like I wasn't growing as fast as I wanted to. And when I made this change, everything else changed for me. So I hope you got some value from it. If you did, would you please leave me a comment? Let me know how this impacted you. And if you think somebody else might get some benefit from this, please share it with them. I hope that you have a great day, and thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you. I'll see you next time.